Good morning, everyone. You're watching Market Fatafat on ET now with me, Mubina Kapasi. Markets looking pretty stellar. We are continuing from where we left off yesterday in trade, and it's a neat, close to 100-point uptick that we are seeing on the Nifty, firmly above 11,100. Sensex higher by more than 300 points, and this time around, the broader markets are managing to outperform with a more than 1% rise. All right, let's kickstart Market Fatafat without any further ado. Today, we are joined by research analyst Vinny Motiwala as well as Pranay Jain. Kunal Bothra too joins in, and on the technicals, we have with us Swati Hotkar of Nirmal Bang. And let's kickstart the show with Infibeam. The stock today is seeing some pricing action. This after delivered its first quarter numbers. A bit of a mixed bag. Top line has actually degrown a whopping 27% on a year-on-year basis, coming in at 186 crore rupees. Margins, however, have surged, and that in turn has contributed to the profit after tax almost doubling, in fact more than doubling to 28.8 crore rupees. Stock higher by 4.7%. And Kunal, after very long flagging of Bajaj Finance, what are you observing here?
Yes, Mubina, and when you see the market stabilizing, large cap ones which rallied predominantly in the last so many months and quarters, I think the stocks which corrected were the ones would be the ones they could try and pick up pace again. So the behavior of the stocks on these kind of large cap names would determine that whether this is just a short-term oriented rally or whether this could develop into a trend. Bajaj Finance is one of them. It's crossed a series of resistances in the last 2-3 days, and especially today. The next set of resistance for Bajaj Finance is closer to the 50-day moving average, which on spot level is at 34.50. So if the stock crosses that level, I believe there could be another round of strong upside over the next 1 to 2 weeks. So Bajaj Finance is a stock which today should be eyeing more on the behavioral aspect. 34.50 could be the near-term target.
Okay, today it's a nice uptick of 2% seen in the stock. And Vinny, Page Industries first quarter numbers, and you are seeing a stock reaction.
Absolutely, Mubina. The numbers haven't been that great. We're seeing the revenues only marginally up by around 2%, while the PAT has also seen a decline of around 11%. The volume growths also have declined of the company. Also, a main important thing to concentrate is the management has said that, in the con call that the demand slowdown was witnessed by them across all categories, and the Q2 demand has also been at the same levels as Q1. So maybe, this growth will continue for the company even in Q2, Mubina.
All right, that is Page Industries down by 4.8%. Swati, Ultratech Cement, lots of movement seen in the stock, especially after the first quarter numbers. Today, a neat 100 rupees higher. You, however, are cautious on this one.
Yeah, definitely, Mubina. As of my view is cautious because from the month of the May, we are just witnessing a continuous downfall in this particular counter. We have seen a downfall from 4,800 levels to almost up to the 4,000, 4,100 levels. We have seen a very smart bounce back rally from its 200-day moving average up to 4,400. But as of now, it's facing a very strong resistance of its 100-day moving average, which comes to at around 4420 levels. If it manages to give a breakout, then definitely we can see some pullback rally continue towards 4500, 4550 levels. At the current levels, my view is cautious. Buying positions can be taken only if it manages to clear a 100 days moving average, which comes to at around 4420. So those who are having as of a long positions, they can hold on but maintain the strict stop loss of 4300 on a downside for immediate target of a 4420, then 4500 on upside.
All right, that's Swati's recommendation on Ultratech Cement. But of course, Pranay, the big newsmaker of yesterday and today's Endurance.
Well, yes, and the management after that con call has rolled back their decision on diversifying and entering tire manufacturing. Though the board found merit in the business because they anticipate some disruption to their casting and machining business from the EV side. Though it's going to impact a small part of the business over the next couple of years, they wanted to be ready with new product lines, and tire business is something that came up for discussion, but it was still at financial evaluation stage. But since they got strong reservations from the investors on the con call, they reconsidered and dropped the plans for that, which is why the stock is up 10% today after the 20% drop yesterday.
Lots of volatility seen in Endurance. A quick breather. We'll take a look at the RWI small case and see what it's up to currently as the markets continue to bounce, and the RWI small case has anyway been relatively more resilient to the crack in the market. Interestingly, today it's absolutely flat. So it is at 515 after that surge that we saw yesterday. Today, however, unchanged at 515, the RWI small case. Okay, let's move on and talk about another big buzzer today in trade, and that's EIL or Engineers India. It's been a good set, a nice uptick in the revenues from 582 crores. Now it's at 742.7 crores in the first quarter. The margins as well have expanded by a good 350 odd basis points at 19% now, and additionally that has trickled down into the profit after tax, which has jumped from 89 crores to 125 crore rupees. So it's a more than 20% rise witnessed in the profit after tax as well, and hence the streets rewarding the stock. Okay, Kunal, Vedanta, the stock has certainly been caught in a very, very weak spot for the last few days. It's dwindled and how to multi-month lows. What are you observing here?
Yes, Mubina, the stock had shown signs of weaknesses. I think from 174, when some sort of news came out for the stock price, it had just about gone into a one-way correction. Went into oversold territories below that 140 mark as well. But in the last 2 days, and especially today, we're seeing some sort of respite for the stock price. Now, when you look at the positioning of the data in terms of volumes, there is a blend of short covering. More of short covering into the stock price, which I believe is a positive sign, for the near-term price trend. And as a short-term trader, traders could look at another upside of 3 to 4 rupees from current levels. So 147 to 148 is where I believe that the stock could face strong resistance, and that's where it should be headed over the next 1 to 2 days.
All right. Well, we'll do one thing. We'll take a very quick break right here on Market Fatafat. Do come right back as we'll continue flagging off more stocks. Welcome back. You're watching Market Fatafat on ET. Now let's continue with the countdown. Ben and Vinny, Hexaware today is seeing a lot of pricing action. How were the quarterly numbers?
The quarterly numbers were quite good, and a strong set of numbers posted by Hexaware. The revenue was up by around 3.5% on a QOQ basis. The margins have also given us a surprise and have expanded and were at around 16.7% versus 14.3%. Also, the PAT was up by around 9.3%. But let's look at, the management has trimmed down the revenue guidance of the company to 19% versus the earlier guidance of 20%. This is on the back of the problems they're facing, challenges they're facing from the clients of the BFSI segment. So, this stock has done quite well in the morning and now is only up about 1%. But, this stock will be in focus even going ahead.
Well, it's completely off the day's high. It's just 1% of gains that it's sitting at now. Swati, meantime, Hero Moto has certainly been seeing a nice uptick for the last few sessions. Today as well, it's higher. Your view here?
Yes, Bobina, overall, if we check the last 1 year ka data, the stock is continuously trading in a downward sloping channel, and currently it is on the verge of giving a breakout of that channel breakout, which indicates a very quite bullish sign as of now, because we have seen even the positive divergence on the weekly chart. So at the current level, my view is just sideways to the bullish side. One can take a long positions at the current level. 2580 is acting as a very strong support level, so 2580 will be acting as a strong stop loss for the buy call for immediate target of 2700 to 2740 levels on the higher side.
All right, that's a buy call on Hero Moto. And Kunal, DLF, it's something that's been on your radar for some time.
Yes, Mubina, and it's a very interesting chart, because when you try and study the price patterns and the behavior of the stock when it performs in a market which is very volatile, it doesn't go down, in that regards compared to its high beta nature. And when the market which stabilizes, you see the stock picking up pace and trying to perform well in sync with the market mood as well. So that's a sign of a stock which is trying to make a good comeback. Now, when you see such kind of a patterns for a stock like DLF, you expect another 7 to 8 rupees upside on the short-term basis because of its high beta nature. So even if the index rallies by another 100 points odd on the Nifty, then you can expect the stock like DLF to cross levels of 180, 185 in the next couple of days as well.
All right, so that's Kunal's recommendation on DLF and the levels he's watching out for. Vinny, Tata Chemicals, how were the first quarter numbers?
A strong set of numbers again by Tata Chemicals over here. We are seeing that the revenues have also improved and are up by around 6%. The PAT is also jumped up to 20% on a YOY basis. Absolutely, we are seeing that the margins have also expanded and up 20%. So this is a good set of numbers for Tata Chemicals, and will keep the stock in focus for the day.
All right, again, off the day's high for this stock, now sitting on gains of 2%. Swati, JSW Steel, compared to what the Nifty Metal Index or many other constituents of the Metal Index have done, has still managed to outperform a little bit. Anything that you observe? Because today as well, it's higher by 2.5%.
Yes, definitely, Mubina. We have seen a continuously downside or the selling pressures on the overall the total metal pack itself. JSW we have seen a correction from almost 300 to 200 points. We have seen within a span of a one and a half or 2 months. As of now, this particular counter is just trading in the oversold zone, which indicates that the selling pressure is likely intensification will be just going low by low, day by day, as such, and we will get to see some bounce back rally from the oversold zone. So I believe at the current level, risk reward will be in our favor. So one can take a long positions at the current levels with a stop loss of 215 for immediate target of 250 on the high side.
Okay, Swati recommends a buy on JSW Steel. Pranay cannot ignore the massive fall seen in NBCC today.
Well, yes, and weak numbers, Mobina. The revenue is down about 16%, profits are down 38%, and the margins have come in low single digit at about 1.5% versus 3.5% same quarter last year. The order flow has also fallen quite a bit, so the economic slowdown and the activity around elections have weighed on their Q1 performance.
All right, 11% gone. Another stock that's tanking is Jamna Auto. While a lot of auto companies have been cutting their production, auto ancillary names as well have had to follow suit because of the weak customer demand and high inventory. Jamna Auto has yesterday told exchanges that it has made changes in the production schedule at all of its plants. So for the month of August, it may not run its plants, or it may only partially run its plants on working days. And this is something that has perhaps spooked the stock, though it's bounced off from the day's low. And Kunal, HDFC, you believe the stock can go higher from here?
Yes, Mumina, and looking at the chart patterns, there is an inverse head and shoulder chart pattern for HDFC, and it's more of a strong reversal pattern because it's occurring at a point which is above the 50-day moving average as well. So price-wise as well as indicator-wise, this could be a decent breakout for HDFC, which should last, I think, another 80 to 100 rupees for the stock price, and that's a substantial gain for a name like HDFC. So that should be a stock into radar from a short-term trading perspective.
Okay, short-term traders can look to make some money in HDFC according to Kunal. But with that, we are out of time. So Swati, thank you for sharing your technical strategies. Kunal, Vinny, Pranay, to you as well. Coming up next to take the market action forward is Markets at Noon.